episode.
All right.
Life gets too fucking serious. Welcome back to another great episode of Secure Podcast. You thought I was going to stop using that as an intro, but I am not. It is back. With me today is Gordon Hurley, former Canadian SOF operator.
Salute.
Airborne recce extraordinaire, winner of the 12th annual Best Hair in SOF competition, and author of Canada, the other place in North America.
Yeah, and you guys get to watch me drink a blender full of protein. He wants to make this fun, so it was weird. Before we started, though, before he pressed live, he was like, I need you to arch your back like a dragon. And I was like, what? And he's like, do it now.
It's the only way I can get off these days. Boy, we got a fun episode today, man. Wow. Oh man. So it's look, we talk about mental health and stress and how to live your best life, but we got to be able to laugh and enjoy things. And I think what really took me aback is when our first conversations together through Instagram were just like team room conversations, and I'm like, okay, this is awesome. This is what we got to do, because the reality is, when you get better, you still retain your humor. You still retain who you are. So we can't forget that, and we have to bring that up today. So Hurley, thank you for being here, man. Thank you. And let's dive into your journey, man. Tell us about yourself.
Oh, man. I've been trying to refine it for the last while now because I talk so much. So, Well, I did just shy of 15 years in the Canadian Armed Forces, half of which, as you have said, was as a light infantry airborne reconnaissance patrolman. No big deal. And then I made the jump to our special operations. So I first tried out for JTF 2. I passed my selection and I was told to come back. Left me with like a pretty bitter taste in my mouth. But I was really immature, and you don't realize that even only until the last couple of years when I reflected back and been like, no, that is the right decision that they made. Yeah. But that shit fired me up. So the next year I went to Canadian Special Operations Regiment. So people don't like the tier system in Canada because they think it's two different mandates, and it is different. But JTF2 holds the national alert, I guess. Like, they're our first line of defense, and if shit pops off with police that they can't handle it, like in a rare circumstance, like a militia movement, then like, yeah, that would be their go-to. They shoot. They're amazing shooters. That's the only difference between, in my opinion, like operator from CSOR and JTF2, is that it's the same cut of man. It's just like you. It's just like when people, Green Beret versus Navy SEAL versus this. It's like, yeah, my dad would go all hot and horny being like, did you work with any SEALs? And it's like, man, it's the cut. It's the
Stop
cut.
talking about the SEALs. Stop talking about the SEALs.
They have But yeah, it's, I don't know. A special forces guy is a special forces guy. Like, yeah, very, very small details as you move up. So I tried out for Canadian Special Operations Regiment. I became a special operator. I did that for just shy about a year and a half, 2 years. I was voluntold to become a JTAC. We don't have STS up here. We don't have combat controllers. There's no like Air Force Special Forces. So it's organically created, which makes it unique. It also makes it really challenging because you're taking meatheads and saying, hey, we need to make you do this extremely intricate and stressful job. So I did that, smashed it out. It was, it felt like I was doing like a timed ruck march, where it's like when you were in really good shape and you took it on as a competition and you like ran the whole thing and tried to get the best time. It was like that for my brain. It was like, I felt like at the end of a mission, or at the end of even like an exercise and such, it's like, I felt like my nose was going to start bleeding. And I'm like, oh my God. So overload. It was never, people were like, oh, you were good, but it was never comfortable with me. It was a lot of stress. What it did is it kind of gave me the keys to our special operations, because a JTAC is a rare commodity. Yep. And I was a nasty little recon honey badger for a long time. No ask, no get. Better to beg for forgiveness and ask for permission, et cetera, et cetera. And when I saw the value of what the position I held, then I kind of put pedal to the metal. And I used it as leverage to be like, yo, I should get that course because like if I'm working with those guys, then like I should probably have parity. And like, yeah, that makes sense, and et cetera, et cetera. So that continued. I did a deployment as a JTAC in Iraq during the Battle of Mosul. That was cool. Just exposure to the other side of the military. So the S functions, like what that is. And there was a big brain drain after Afghanistan within our military, and it got worse and worse. And I found like one of the big ones was any type of joint terminal attack controller knowledge. Still was guys, but very, very few far in between. So when you have a JTAC, like that guy is the subject matter expert, and he's the one liaising with like an American fires officer who has like 40 JTACs underneath him. You should probably be one of those 40 ones, probably near the bottom. And instead you're like, what's up? I'm Gordo. Like, don't look at my rank. Like, look here. I know what's going on. So it really exposed me to the other side of the military where sometimes I really wish I could have just been like the farting dick jokes, cleaning the guns, like shooting at the range and stuff. And instead it's like, okay, you're going to be briefing like the JAGs on stuff, and you're digging into policy and like government policy. Like how can our government interact with NATO? How can they interact with America? And it's like, there's no knowledge going on up there, like at those rank levels. So I saw like it was on us to do. And that is the ultimate why, because I was going on operations. 2, my best friends are going on operations. So like, yeah, this means a lot. And it sucked because like, not only I wish I was back there just hanging out, it was a lot of responsibility to be like, have to grab yourself by the cojones and just like, I need to say this to this major. You know what I mean? And it's like, he's probably not going to like it. And like, oh, he's a tier 1 squadron commander. And it's just like, I was never rude or anything, but like, you're the dude, you're the face of it. And it's a lot of stress. So as we get further in my career and you see operator syndrome, it's like that allostatic load is like, I was a soldier. I chose to be a soldier. I chose to be like more soldiery. I was voluntold to be on the JTAC. So that really accumulated, but I started to see the other side when I knew I was going to exit the military around this time. So around 2017, I started coming up with my exit strategy, and my spouse at the time was American. So yeah, I was married to an American for 7 years. I had a place in Virginia Beach. It really confuses everybody because whenever I talk to people, they're like, why are you here? And what did you do?
Yeah.
So after that deployment, when I was on break in Virginia Beach, I went to the Honor Foundation. I don't know if you know about them.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to the Honor Foundation. Yeah. So
I'm a
amazing.
Product that they're making.
Same. So I owe them so much. And I walked into their office and I read Tools of the Titans on in an OP in Iraq. And at the end of it, he says like, hey, if you're interested in like something, just go ask for a cup of coffee and just go like, go talk to them. And so I did that. And then I found out that like, that's a part of the program. It's like, they want guys to get 50 cups of coffee because it opens them up. So I think I like schmoozled my way in, and that eventually I did it when I released the military. A lot of injuries. Biggest one I would say is a partially detached retina. Went misdiagnosed for about 6 months. The guy said it was just old age and I needed glasses. It was like nearsightedness. And I was like, yeah, dude. Roger that.
Sounds good.
And yeah, when can I go back to work? Like, is this going to impede me? No, it's not. So, man, I did a full like readiness cycle, like 6 months of the most premier soldiering you can do. And I did that all with a partially detached retina. So I would drive home to our base some days after jumping all day, and it was like an hour and a half, 2-hour drive. And like all of a sudden, lace curtain, it would look like, would go over my dominant eye. And I was just like, well, that's trippy. Okay. And then it would go away like later. And yeah, that continued for 6 months. My medical guy, like, it's not all their fault. It was like a month of me being like, okay, yeah, the professional said to me that it's just old age. So you just think that, and then it keeps progressing. So I talked to my doctor, and he's like, let me talk to my guy. Then all of a sudden it's 2 months, and then it's like re-engage with them. Or they're like, oh yeah, right. Let me talk to that guy. You're at 3 months. They can't, then 4 months, they can't get me to see that guy. So now I'm going to go see this guy over here. So now it's at 5 months, and beautiful summer day, parachuting all day. Gonna go see the ophthalmologist guy or optometrist, whatever the more advanced one is, in town. Jumped like 5 times that day. Took the big work truck into town. Go in there. This so like a little Indian guy. He's just like backs away. He's like, "Don't be afraid, but this is a medical emergency. I need to call the hospital right now." And I'm like,
Oh, fuck.
cool. And yeah, he came back in and he was like, "Hey, it's a partially detached retina. You're 0.3 microns, like super small unit of measure away from having permanent vision loss, because my retina that whole time was ripping off because the ocular pressure was 3 times as this one. So it's just pressure. And this entire time I'm doing like all this like breaching, shooting, heavy weapons, jumping, everything, and working out like an animal, like deadlift, like all that pressure. So he was like, "What are you even doing?" And I was like, "All right, close the door." And he was just like, "You are so lucky you're not blind right now, man."
You
like,
know that suspicious looking door in the stall at the local Denny's.
yeah, it's just like he thinks he's gonna get a military answer. This one time I ate 46 hot dogs at Costco.
That was it,
Sir, this is a medical emergency. Like, what a great day.
Fuck,
So yeah,
dude.
that was serious. That took 3 surgeries to recover from.
Oh,
I made it back. The book I read on my recovery was Fearless, the Adam Brown story.
yeah.
Just randomly, you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Navy SEAL, went to SEAL Team 6, lost his eye for everyone. He had a training accident, and then he was like, "Fuck it, take it," and then still banged it out. When he went to Team 6, they were like, "You only have one eye," and he said the standard's a standard, and they were like, "Oh, okay." And so I read that book on my recovery, and wow, like I think of that guy often. I've never met him, obviously, anything like that, but like that set it in stone for me to say, okay, man, like, what are you going to do? Like, you're going to back out. You're not going to go do, like, you just read a book on a guy that did that and then like continued to deploy and unfortunately passed away. But like, that makes it like more for me to be like, nah, you should like honor that dude and like get back in the saddle. So I came back after 3 months off in Virginia Beach, and my doctor's like, "All right, like, so medical release like process." And I was like, "All right, get me back in there." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And I've had a lot of injuries. He was like, "What?" And I told him the same thing, man. Standard's a standard. If I can do it, then who cares? And I did it. When I was back I deployed like 6-7 months later with the team, and I would just make a joke like, "Hey, you guys got your one-eye JTAC? Like, this is gonna be sweet, dude." Like, what? So
you don't need 2 eyes to control.
yeah, it makes night way easier. So that happened. I got my deployment, and then COVID was the year after that.
Oh man,
in March, and I was married to an American, and they shut the borders down. So that was like the end of that. And around the same time, I was like, okay, I'm enacting my release plan because I had all these injuries. It was like a golden ticket to get a medical release because I was so messed up, and I didn't even know how messed up I was until like well after it, right? Yep. And now we're only learning with like people, Dr. Chris Free and Kate Pate, all these like amazing human beings, and stuff's falling off. Stuff's like the wheels start coming off. I made it like a stupid promise to myself to like not. The JTAC cell had a really bad reputation for burning guys down because you were one of one, and you kind of had as much leash as you want, and you can have as much effect as you want. And sometimes even going against a system with logic, you're not going to achieve the effect that you want. And that could sometimes still be like at the detriment to a ground force. So that's a lot to carry for that amount of time with no cool rank upgrade. You're just like banging it out as a corporal, maybe a master corporal sergeant, like, but still the heavy lifting's done by these like young guys who are just like thrown into this position. So in my mind, I'm like, no, I'm not going to break. I can't like break in front of these dudes, basically, is I think what I was thinking. And that meant like when I put my medical release in, then I can like I can be like, okay, like I did it. I made it through, like not having an ND or AD. Like I made it through my career. I didn't do that thing. That's fine. I didn't take a knee. And like, man, that was probably the worst thing you could do. And when you transition out of special operations, I hear it from the American side too, but like when you get off that train, man, it's moving, and it doesn't
It
stop.
doesn't
And
stop for you. Yeah.
no,
It's
no,
it's a mentality. While you're still in the team, you think it's like, oh man, like I'll always be part of this. You know, it's brotherhood. You earned your spot here. The wheel will continue to move without you. You have to understand that. If you're listening right now and you're identifying with anything that Gordo is sharing, like understand there is a benefit to taking a knee. There is a benefit of getting better, of catching the issues that all of us have talked about and have shared with you over and over. Like you can't just go, 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 go. I will say that for both of us, our careers, we could have done 20 plus years if we would have stopped. And maybe before we even enlisted, like taking a pause and address some health issues mentally. And then once we're in, maybe periodically stopped and actually got the surgeries, because like we all have those stories of like, hey, I didn't want to come off a team, so I didn't say anything about that neck pain. And it turned out to be an emergency surgery 3 years later. Now you got a fused neck, or the hip surgeries, the shoulder injuries that we see from our guys. Your career can flourish. You can still continue if you're willing to pause. And I can say that for even our civilian community members. Like whatever you're doing in your life, whatever job you're into, whatever your profession is, don't just discount the bumps and bruises and pain you're going through. If you have an injury, and they always tell us through training, right? Is it pain or is it an injury? Pain,
right.
push through it. You know, we all have to go through that lesson. But if it's an injury, stop, address it, get help.
It's hard for. I think about what I would say to me when I was like 24, 25,
Yeah.
and it's just like, man, I don't know if that guy would be like, who are you, dude? You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if that guy's going to be like getting that, but this podcast, there's a lot of information out there. And I heard it yesterday on the Sean Ryan podcast. Shout out to him and Tom Spooner.
Yeah.
He was a cool guest too. And he was saying that like, there's so many treatment modalities now. There's so many access ports for help and information that it's like negligent on the soldier to take the back seat and victim thing. It's like, damn, dude, like there's no excuse anymore. This isn't, he said 2006 for sure. There was definitely no resources back then, but like even for some of our younger dudes, like 2016, this information wasn't coming online either. So the more we spread it, like the more destigmatized it gets. And man, I would say take the breaks. And for me, like I never watched my diet. I was always a big boy. I ran half marathons. I was like crushing dudes. It was very strange. It like really messed people up, but it's not good to carry the weight. It's not good. What that does on your joints cumulative over time, that 20 extra pounds next to the other dude. So take care of your nutrition. I just drank and ate whatever I want and worked out like a beast. But I think to myself, like, what would 20 pounds less over 15 years have done to my body? 20 pounds less, forced smashing into the ground, every parachute, blah, 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 blah.
Yep. Dude, we grew up and came up in the GWAT era, and I idolized and I looked up to the fucking yoked out muscle dudes on the teams. Like, I was trying to figure out that fucking cheat code. I wanted to get fucking yoked out. I wanted to be the biggest dude.
Steroids.
You chase it. You see those dudes and they look invisible. And then it really shifted when you saw like those guys and the muscle injuries, the reoccurring problems, and then the mentality shifted, and it all came out with fucking supple leopard. When you started seeing these CrossFit dudes, the real hybrid athletes, then you're like, wait a second, you're not getting the injuries that we're getting. You're over there doing this Thor 3 plan, and you're fucking crushing life. Like you're doing marathons on the fucking weekend. Like,
right.
So the culture is shifting. I'm seeing that. That's a true model of an athlete and in a warfighter profession. That's a reality of it. You want to be the ultimate fucking dude on a team? Stop trying to chase the fucking weights like you're a bodybuilder. Bodybuilders aren't made to go and to do what you're doing. Stop idolizing that. I think a lot of guys are finally keying into that. When I look at the true soft professionals that I ended up working with and seeing like the shift. It's like, oh, the young men idea, the young men mentality. Oh, I need to be jacked and tan and do all this stuff. No. You got to take into account nutrition. You got to take into account like what your body's going to be demanded to do in combat, run, move, all those complex movements that we weren't thinking about. Like, and
Right.
nowadays you're seeing it a lot more. So I think the culture shifted, but yeah, for 100% for what we grew up with, what we saw, we're like, yeah, I'm going to be fucking jacked and tan.
Right. Right. 80% of my muscle mass is in my chest.
Yes. Because I mean, you got to be doing, chest,
bench press Monday, baby.
Oh, we're so dumb.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
But you live and learn, man. And I think you brought up the other, like a little bit ago, what would your younger self say if you like traveled through time? And I think mine would probably fucking double tap me, 2 to the chest and 1 to the head for bringing up any of this information. It's like, you're fucking weak. We're not going to be talking about this stuff. So I'm hoping that the younger generation, the guys, the younger audience members are listening and understanding, like, dude, take this advice and take this understanding that this will make you better in all spheres of your life. Like, don't wait till you're in your late 30s and 40s to address all these issues. Then you're fucking having to go through the same shit we went through. Take advantage of our knowledge and start thriving, man. Like survival. Like I know I got used to it. It's like, fuck, come home, drink, repeat. And just like, you're just surviving. It's like, fuck that. Like when you have time to actually live your life, like, yeah.
It's you don't realize, I know a lot of guys who medically released, not by choice. And that's usually the guys that have a really hard time with it. And I guarantee if you could have offered them 5 extra years, even for me, like, yeah, I was like, okay, I have enough injuries and I'm feeling pretty messed up and I think it's time to go, like disgruntled, blah, blah, blah. And if I didn't have those physical injuries or mental injuries, then like you said, it'd be another 5-10 years. Maybe it would be completing a full career. And then for the guys that do get medically released who have a hard time because it was not by choice, I guarantee you they would want those extra 5-10 years. So it's extremely important to take care of yourself. And for the love of God, man, like I released, like I said, 36, 15 years. And I had shoulder surgery, knee surgery, back to back. I've had like 2 surgery, but that's not the same. And I just signed paperwork for elbow surgery about 2 weeks ago.
Oof.
I can't and they've been treating that as tennis elbow for 2 years. I don't have a family doctor. Like, welcome to Canada. We don't have a VA hospital. So everyone, like physiotherapy, all these people are like, yeah, it's tennis elbow. Let's massage it. And it's like, no, it was loose bone fragments and it's been like cutting my elbow the whole time. But no one knew that for 2 years. And oh God, I'm not losing this thread. Let me. Oh, when
worry, this break is brought to you by TBI.
Yes. Shameless plug. Operator syndrome. Get the book. If I knew when I signed that paperwork, I was so upset that day. Like I was extremely triggered. My wife's like, "Damn," she didn't even like know what to say because I'm like, I've never felt regret with the things I did because I feel it's fair exchange. I got to do the coolest stuff ever and I volunteered for it, everything. Do I believe in like equal compensation for things breaking? Like, yes. But I've never felt like, damn, dude, like, what the F? Like, I have a hard time picking up my daughter and holding her. I put in for tennis elbow to Veterans Affairs, denied. It's not associated to my service. So I have no funding. So I bought a $150 cast off of Amazon. So like when I do stuff, cause it's 4 to 6 months for this surgery, they don't know when. Like Canadian healthcare system's bad, dude. 4 to 6 months. And I'm like, graphic design is like my new shtick and like videos. So like it hurts a lot. It hurts all day long. It feels like pins and needles. And I know injuries. And it's like in the last 3 weeks, it's like went from, it would hurt after if I did a chest or if I did any hard motion, and to now it hurts all the time. And it's very sensitive to touch. So I'm like, okay, this is going downhill. And like, I need to figure out how to last 4 to 6 months until my surgery to make sure that I can do graphic design at least. So at least, cause I'm afraid it's going to get too messed up that when I'm like, doing this, I'm not going to be able to do computer stuff. So out of my own pocket, buying a arm cast so I hold it in place so I can pick up my daughter and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, that stuff isn't on, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I've been out of the military for almost 3 years, and like, I've been in recovery for like a lot of it. And that we're not even, and what does that do mentally to a dude who was like a stud? You know what I mean? Who maybe being a big boy, but would like crush shit with the guys. And now you're just like buying cast off of Amazon, man. Like, yeah, it sent me for a little bit of a spiral just to like wrap my mind around it. And I've reframed it, and it is what it is. But damn, man, take care of your bodies, guys. Like, fuck, take care of your bodies.
But it's important to also like pause in this moment, because I know there's like thousands of veterans with the same experience. And if you don't stop and understand and reframe it, it turns into bitterness, it turns into resentment, it turns into anger, hate, and then you're taking it out on your spouse, your friends, your kids. Dude, I understand.
And the same organization that you're so angry about that has failed you is actually controlling you with you letting it override your life. Did I have a rough couple days? Did I drink? Yeah. And like, that's normal life, guys. That's normal life. But when I like calmed down and I knew I had to get my frequency right, was meant that like I needed to get this right. And just like Viktor Frankl, like my homie the psychologist and World War II concentration camp survivor.
Yep.
Your mind is the most powerful thing you have, and you have complete control over how you want to feel or how you want to respond to something. And no one wants to hear that shit. I'm tracking that, guys. But like, you are giving the organizations or whatever thing you're angry about the power right back. And it's just going to be a cycle. So take the power back.
Absolutely. And man, another great, amazing author. I found his book through getting help. Man's Search for Meaning. And we'll go on this little tangent because there's so much knowledge in that book that speaks to us veterans, that speaks to anybody that's suffering. Suffering for the sake of just suffering is not good for us. Take that pain, understand that, like, okay, like I'm limited in my mobility, but I don't want to sit here in the suffering. I can give back. I can do something. I can be of service to somebody. And that sounds crazy, right? You're telling me that I'm suffering in my pain. I can't move without back pain and knee pain. And you want me to help and be of service to others? Fuck you, Denny. No, here's why. Here's why it's proven to work. Stop looking inward. Stop focusing on your own fucking journey and the pain and the bitterness and resentment, and turn that outward and look for good. Look for something you can do for somebody else. And here's the thing. When you do something for others, when you're helping your family, your friends, or even a stranger, that gratitude, that compassion, that, hey man, thank you for helping me, that little bit of connection with somebody else is going to help you through your suffering. Don't believe me? Why do you think that I do peer-to-peer support? Why do you think I sit here and I bring these awesome people and have these conversations? Because I know it matters to somebody. It's going to help connect somebody that's in that moment lost and in pain. And if what Gordon is sharing right now, if what I'm saying or what any of the past guests say to bring them a moment of relief, then fuck yeah, dude. We get so connected with our own suffering, with our own pain, that we forget that others have it worse or just as bad, and they need somebody there. If you can do something good of service to somebody else in a dire situation, it'll help you feel connected to the world. It'll help you put a reference of what you're dealing with. For the longest time, I couldn't walk without constant fucking pain. And that script became something that was infinitely more powerful than anything I ever experienced. I'm constantly in fucking pain. Fuck this world. I'm always in fucking pain. It became my fucking identity.
The wounded soldier.
And the VA and everybody you talk to that doesn't really understand veterans will continue to give you that identity. It'll give you like a fucking warm blanket. And like, yeah, fuck yeah, you're broken. Yeah, be this girl and be angry. But you're better than that. And I was better than that. And I realized that pain is a part of life. And some pain dissipates quickly, some doesn't. And that's okay too. Life is about being able to go through your life, go through the suffering, and understand that this is a part of the journey. I don't want to numb out. I don't want to just take medication to numb the pain. I would rather have pain and discomfort than live in a state of comfort. And that's what a lot of people are being told to do. Smoke yourself to a fucking point where you're numb. Drink yourself to a point of, oh, hey, baby, pop all these fucking medications and just quietly fucking drool all over yourself. I don't want to live that life. Unfortunately, I've seen friends die from that life, and I don't want to see anybody else go through that. And I'm telling you right now, as Gordon has shared, we all live with pain. It's normal. Abnormal amounts of pain are out there, and you can get help for chronic pain that just doesn't go away and make it so it dials back. But trust me, there is a way to approach life and understand that pain is a part of it. Whether it's emotional pain or physical pain, it's okay. Choose discomfort. Treat it to the point where it's like it's livable. Treat it to the point where you can get up and be like, yeah, I might not be able to run a fucking marathon, but I can walk for 40 minutes. Right. I can work out and do yoga. Man, there's nothing more powerful than seeing people take ownership of their life and be able to say, you know what? I don't want to just numb out. Like, numbing out is for fucking quitters. It's for people that just want to survive. And I want everybody out there listening, especially our veterans and first responders and our civilian brothers and sisters, choose to thrive. And thrive sometimes means embracing the hard fucking work that is life, man. And it's beautiful. We don't want a life of comfort. What does a life of comfort mean? People on social welfare and on programs that don't do anything. Well, that's a life of comfort. Exactly.
It's not real. It's like you said, like, man, bad shit happens. That's life. I want my life when I die, I want to be tired. I want to be tired from living. And that includes the highs and lows. I want to be like grandpa's old baseball mitt, just soft, supple leather from hundreds of years of failing and getting up and failing and getting up and failing and getting up. And every time you fail, it's not the same level as it was before. And every time you get up, it's at a higher level from before. And a big thing you don't realize is, like, when you're so focused on everything else, is like you've actually climbed a huge hill or a huge ladder, and your resilience and the love of life, of it all, of the beauty, because a good drama movie, like a good scary movie, it's the same thing. That's life. Everyone wants it. So they're on their phone, they're getting their catered little like Instagram. This is it. These are my ideas. All my friends have the same ideas. Yeah, man, life don't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And when it comes to injuries and doing stuff, like, my company's called All the Way. Shameless plug, but
no, please do it.
It really is about a lifestyle. It doesn't matter what your injuries are. It doesn't matter what state you are. As long as you're still pursuing 100% of that capability, as long as you are doing all the way as much as you can within your own capacity, that's it. Yeah. That's it. So buy my t-shirts.
Do it now.
Yeah.
I love that, man. We forget how much we've overcome, resilience that we developed through the military, and it is a gift. And people hear that and like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, basic training was a kick in the dick. Fucking going to freaking 82nd Airborne was a kick in the fucking dick. Going to selection was a kick in the dick. Deployment's a kick in the dick. Yeah, but it also brought you the greatest moments in your life. You met fucking your best friends. You met teammates. You were able to go on stage at different schools and graduate and receive freaking admiration from individuals within your organization. And you graduated hard courses and you learn to do hard things. And when you get a chance to do those things or show preparedness to your family and friends, like, you get excited because it's a part of you that you wish you could always tap into, and you can. Don't just focus on the hard, painful things you went through and just discount them as being like, oh, there's just horrible parts. No, there's greatness in all those hard things you did. Like, I look back fondly at all that shit.
And we'll jump to the transition, is that, like, soldiers are the worst at being able to apply their skills to how they want to sell themselves to organizations and businesses. And it's like, I had a guy in Africa tell me on a trip to the airport, he was like, well, what are you going to do? And I already had my plan. I was already in talking with Honor Foundation, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to use the skills here that the S functions of the military are the C-suite of the business class. So like, you just put two and two together, and I worked that angle for it. But I remember this guy being like, what do you know about soldiering? And like, how is that going to be applicable? And I think about it even more and more and more these days, especially with being a father of like a young daughter, is that being a good soldier means you're a good human being. It means you know the correct and you know the incorrect. There are so many times where I would never think of that thing I did when I was a basic reconnaissance patrolman or an infantier, of doing the right thing, never pass a fault, all these like stupid things you think are stupid. But when you become a regular human being and you go out there, it's like, that's not how the real world works. It's very, very different.
Yeah.
So you being able to apply those things, as stupid as you think they are, is like light years beyond what's happening out here within the normal society. So the guys don't realize how powerful, if you were a shit pump, that's one thing. But if you were a good soldier, like, you have so much value. And especially if you want to go in and make some disruption and disturbance within the business sector, everybody can learn. Everybody can learn the stuff you like. Everybody can read a book and go to school and learn. I mean, the things you learn as a soldier, then the hardships and the resiliency and, oh, that sucks, but you still stuck it out. That's the things that like separate you, and you'll think it's normal. The business side might be hard, but when it comes to leadership, teamwork, integration, communication, problem solving, conflict resolution, man, that's going to be your bread and butter.
Yeah, absolutely. I see it all the time. And that's one of the things I love to do, talk to guys that are transitioning, purely because it's something that I reflect back all the time. Like, the fear that comes with leaving the military is second to none, man. And I can tap into that right now, just understanding like, oh, fuck, I'm leaving the military. What do I do? Like, how do I figure this out? And then when you reflect back, it's like, holy fuck, like I was so scared, but I failed to realize like all the things I had done up to that point. Like, all the things I had done my entire military career, they really did prepare me. Like, you just have to understand that fear is a part of the process. Just factor that in, and then do everything you've done for a deployment, backwards planning, looking at like all the things like, okay, there is a certain amount of money that you will be getting, whether you're military, medically retired, or you're retiring at 20, or you ETS. Factor in all the knowns, and then look at all the unknowns and start plugging in factors.
Right. And it's mission planning, like typology. I don't know. It's an exhaustive list in the business world, right? Where it's like you just go through everything and you risk mitigate. That is, especially in SOF, super bread and butter, and you'll crush anything you want to do in the regular life. Basic things like, oh, the government needs 3 quotes from whatever vendors. Yeah. That is like not a normal thing that's taught in business schools and stuff, but it's like not just like known, but for us, we're like, oh, like, why are they making me do this course? And it's like, no, that is really good business practice. Yeah. And same with like a small team deployment, and the prep for it was like, Gordo, you're in charge of the food meat plan for the next 6 months. Like, what does that mean? As like a young operator, like, okay. And it's like, that means you're going to figure out everything that we need to eat, and you're going to have to plan for that for 6 months. And you need to go link in with these people and come up with a 6-month feeding plan for your group in Africa, like in an austere place. How are you going to get it? Blah, 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 blah. It sounds so mundane. You know what I mean? You're just like, like, what? No, dude, that is serious planning. Like, you tell that to someone in a civvy side, they're going to be like, whoa, that's some competent stuff. And we just like, when's the next range? And it's like, yeah, roger that. But like, you shoot your guns on the weekend. Like, you're gonna have to get a job after this, and life doesn't stop. And I like business. I like kind of that environment because it's still competitive. It kind of gives me the vibe of like, I like it because the success is more on my shoulders, and not like it was about the team before, but now you're solo. So it's like, can I do this? Like, how can I do it? Honor Foundation, like, insert them, and you start seeing it. And just like if you need help, there are so many organizations willing to help you with transition, that like, guys, there's no excuse anymore. Go on YouTube, reach out. You're not worthless. You have a lot of skills.
Yeah. Or reach out to us at Security Hot Podcast. You just open up your email and type this in. Oh, wait, tell me when you're ready. Are we ready? Okay. sechaltpodcast@gmail.com. That's SEC podcast@gmail.com. Hit us up. You're transitioning, need some pointers on what organizations to reach out to. Let us know, and we will send you a list of organizations to go to. And here's a cheat code for you. We're going to recommend the Honor Foundation. That's what helped me in my journey. That's what's helped Gordon. That's what's helped a vast majority of our guests get that understanding of what to do for the next step. Let me tell you what's one thing that you're going to have to figure out for yourself, and that is your passion. That is what you are really, truly passionate about. Everybody wants to focus on the money. And I get it. You have kids to feed. You have a wife to take care of. You've got 2 dogs to take care of and a cat if you're in the Navy. But I will tell you this. None of that is going to prepare you for that 7-month freaking come to Jesus moment where you're like, I fucking hate finances and I hate working at a bank. Don't go into that if you're not passionate about it. What is your passion? I am asking you right now, whether you're driving or you're at home listening to this with your family. I hope to God you're not doing that, because we are not rated for kids. But let me tell you this. Take a full weekend. That's right, a full weekend, and just meditate and think about what you're passionate about. And it's not, don't think of anything being too funny or too impossible. Really think and write out what you're passionate about, because I will tell you this from my own experience, seeing my own friends that prepared for this and they went into what they were actually passionate about. Individuals are thriving in things like working for NASCAR, working for Fox, working at ESPN, working for Apple, for Google. All these things that you think are impossible are actually very much possible if you sit down and you think about what you're passionate about. If you think about what you really want to do.
Yeah, I think the passion part too is what gets people all messed up. Well, I'm passionate about agendas, books. I'm passionate about books. Fine, Denny. That's what I'm passionate about, right? Because that's what guys are going to do. Like, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? How am I supposed to make money? Pump the brakes. Check this out. I like books. I want to be an author. Not saying I can't be an author, but let's just put that out there. Or yes, let's just keep it with that. I am not going to get published anytime soon, and I'm exiting the military, and I need a job. Okay, I love books. So, mega goal, I want to become an author. Small time goal, I want to work in that industry. So then you're surrounded by it and you're working with books, and that's what you're passionate about. If you want to become an astronaut, you want to hit me up with that. Okay, maybe you're 39 years old, exiting the military after 17 years, pretty broken, and are not going to become an astronaut. But you could probably go work for NASA in some way, or you start your own business that like has a small portion of the suit that the astronauts use. And then you are engaged. And that's what Denny's trying to say, is that you have to be, that passion is engagement. And I can say I moved to my location here for real estate because it was cheap, but it's cheap because their social infrastructure is cheap. You know what I mean? And I didn't think about this, and I'm landlocked. I'm not close to the water, so I can't go paddleboarding all the time. But I was so focused on money, and that's fine, because that's a big part of being secure as a human being, like money. So it was a good decision. But like now that I'm here and I'm settled, and guys, it will take you a long time to get, I'm still in the transition, and I'm 2.5 years through it. And only now, that's why you're seeing me on podcasts, is that I'm feeling comfortable enough to talk about it. So it's not like just like he got out and things are good, man. It's just 2.5 years. So, but think about it. It's not just about money. Like when the frequency calms down and that spring gets uncoiled, that's your brain and your emotions, then the dust is going to settle and you're really going to see what's most important. And I would probably think money is not one of them a lot of the time.
Yeah. And you have to look at the other thing too, that I didn't even factor in, were all the benefits and resources that you have available to you. Because nonprofit work is out there, and you never know what you could use as that stepping stone to that real endeavor that you want to do. So if you want to work at a business, but you have to get a certain degree. You have college benefits, go back to school. I always tell people, if you have a passion for something like going into law or becoming a doctor, don't discount that, because there are resources to get you there.
Right.
There are resources that will get you, you know, you will get paid while you go to school. You'll be able to study what you're passionate about. And at the end of that road, and it's a journey, I get it. It's like friggin' Frodo and Sam going to Mordor, becoming a doctor, becoming a lawyer, becoming any of these certifiable skills that take a lot. It takes a lot of dedication, commitment, but it will get you there. You will be able to get there to that journey. And the other thing to not sleep on is trades. Journeyman, friggin' HVAC, anything. If you want to do construction, if you want to go home inspection, we got people that are doing that right now. And all it takes
Good money.
and all it takes is figuring out that, like, I have a passion for this.
Right.
We got people.
It doesn't need to be the astronaut thing or anything.
Yeah.
It could be whittling wooden spoons. That's fine. But like, you can structure it so that you can still get money, which everyone needs, but still be passionate. Work is work, right? Sometimes, I guess that's maybe not the nicest thing to say, but truly, I wish I could like just make graphic design and do cool stuff. I guess I'm on my way. I know my why, but there's still going to be some stuff that you're going to have to sacrifice, and it's still going to be work. It's like rucksacking. People are like, what's the best rucksack? Man, you put 100 pounds in anything, it's going to feel like shit on your back. So like, you just got to do it.
Yeah. And it's exactly what you said. Like, I structured my next step methodically, doing what I love to do. Like, I love audio production and podcasting. And when I finally put myself out there, when I finally was willing to see like, hey, I can produce shows and get paid to do it. That first contract with that first for that first year of production work was the greatest success I had, understanding that like there's value in what I do. I can produce something and everybody can get there. You just have to be willing to bet on yourself. And that's the thing that people look at the journey and people say like, oh man, fuck you. You got lucky. No, I didn't. I didn't get fucking lucky. I worked my ass off and I made 3 to 4 seasons of shitty podcasting. And I was lucky. And I put myself out there and I said, hey, I can do this for you. Like, here's my proof. And the stories are out there. Individuals that bet on themselves. There's entrepreneurial courses that are for free. There are people willing to teach you how to do what you're passionate about. You just have to say, I'm going to bet on myself. And I didn't want to. I didn't want to at first. And I'm sure you didn't want to at first.
I say it's you're jump qualified. You said you're 82nd airborne.
Yep.
I was going to wear an airborne shirt today. We have a thing called Airborne Fridays at the unit. But when the light goes green, you're jumping, dude. When you're about to breach, you're not standing in the door. This is the same thing. You have to commit. And it's the biggest, scariest thing is that unknown. But guess what? You're an airborne soldier or you've done anything, like you just have to commit. Just commit. Turn it off and commit. It's gonna be fine. I had a buddy tell me, because he's doing well, and I have like my little clothing thing, and I have a good batch of like ideas. Like the roll-on's gonna come. Don't worry, guys. But I was like, there's something else. I'm like, why are people doing this? Like, what do you mean? And he's like, man, the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people are the successful people do it.
Yeah.
That's it. Just do it. It's not it. And like you said, you're going to produce, you're never going to be probably fully happy with the quality if you are a perfectionist, but nonetheless, like the process is there and it turns out like, look at you, beautiful man running his own podcast in a nose ring, dude. You look super
living my best life.
Yeah. Look at me.
And people, you have to be ready when you put yourself out there, especially in this space where you're creating something. Like, don't let somebody else's fear and opinions deter you from your fucking dream. And move in silence. If you don't have people that are going to back you and you don't have support structure like a family, a wife, kids, move in fucking silence. Like, everybody sees Security Hall. Nobody knows. Like, very few times people know the other podcasts I produce. And that's fine. And people don't know what I'm doing on the other side. Because real G's move in silence. And I'm not going to give away my dream. I'm not going to give away everything I'm working on the backside, because motherfucking critics love to fucking, and you see it everywhere. And I talked about this a while ago, crab mentality. There's a lot of motherfuckers that slide and they will be there in the background, hoping you fucking fail.
Absolutely.
Don't give them this. Don't give them the fucking info. Keep moving. If you don't have people listening to you that you can vent and share about what your passion and dream is, fucking slide in our fucking inbox. Talk to us. Share with us.
Right.
The community
go to
is
real sources.
Yeah. The
Go to
community
people
is
who've
huge.
been doing it. Right.
Yeah.
Deeds, not words. As like you, the last couple years, that's really, if I could go back and tell myself something when I was a young soldier, it would be to shut the fuck up. 2 ears, 1 mouth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you go into the real world, one, if you network properly, you're going to be surrounding yourself with people that are way better than you. So immediately, like, you're going to be like, okay. And you're going to listen and you're going to understand to listen. And it's way, way better when you listen than talk.
Yes.
And you'll pick up on things. And it's like, I think Tim Ferriss had he quoted that like a couple months ago, I think, where he was just like, don't tell people your goals. And I used to talk about it all the time to people.
Yes.
I love talking, man. I love it. And I have this goal and that goal. And it's like, where's the follow through? It's like, if anything, you're wasting time of your life trying to explain this idea when you're not actually doing the idea, and it's not worth it. And things might change. So then all of a sudden you might sound like a person who's just, I'm doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that. What's the alligator closest to you? What's the alligator closest to the boat? Focus, build your plan, and then execute on that. And don't get distracted by everything else that's coming in. Just what's in front of you, piecemeal. And next thing you know, you're running your podcast, etc. And you don't need to tell people it. And it will be way cooler when you drop that shit on them.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. And from a psychological standpoint, when you're constantly talking about things, it normalizes the idea and you get comfortable. And then you don't do it. Then you've met these individuals before. I'm going to go to Ranger School. I'm going to go to selection. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be this. And they talk about it. They don't fucking do it.
Right.
Then there's the cats that motivated you and myself. The guys that said, I'm going to selection. Whoa, what the fuck? Yeah, I'll leave tomorrow. Never fucking, the first dude, never forget it. The first dude from our unit that came back from Iraq and went to selection, Pete, didn't say shit to anybody. Great fucking dude, still doing the thing. That dude came back with us the same time frame. We came back from Iraq, he fucking went right to selection. I'm like, where the fuck's Pete? Oh, he went to selection, didn't say a fucking thing. Showed back up, fucking scuffed up, limping. And then a few motherfucking, the critics, the crab mentality, oh, Pete didn't fucking make it. Then he walks in to come, I fucking made it with his fucking country boy. Like, that's the motherfucking attitude you need. Like, people are going to bet against you. Don't give them the ability to fucking talk shit to you.
Yum. Yeah, bring that down. Only keep it in your brain, but you don't need that negativity in your life. And it's, man, people, real G's too, will respect the walk more than the talk. So whatever you need to tell yourself, for me, like I think it was that Tim Ferriss post. It was like maybe 6 months ago, but I knew just, there's a book, Jay Shetty, I think it's called Think Like a Monk.
Yes.
That book helped me a lot because like thief is the comparison of joy. I don't know if he said that, or comparison is the thief of joy, whatever. When you're comparing people and when you're jealous of people, that's actually like you're holding a mirror up to yourself. And that is a reflection of how you are doing it. And like, you don't need that shit. You don't need that stuff. So let it go.
Yeah. Which is another thing that I've seen in our community too. The soft operations, we talk about community and being fucking supportive of everybody. But there's a perfect example. There's a gentleman out there. I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to say the company, but he's facing allegations of something really bad. And immediately 50,000 fucking pages show up and all these individuals talking shit about the dude. Oh, now he's going to jail for this, X, Y, and Z. I'm like, dude, just 24 hours ago, you were on this dude's nuts talking about his company, how great his products are. And now you're fucking shitting on him because he's a human being. He made a mistake. If he did, I don't know. All I know is the amount of hate that come towards somebody when they're successful is fucking ridiculous. And it's exactly what you said. It's a reflection of your jealousy and everything that you feel inadequate about. It's none of your business or concern how somebody is struggling with life. what they get in trouble for with the law. It's none of your fucking concern. Focus inward in your own journey. Try to be a
Right.
better person. And why do we chat? Why do we
Right.
always chat like and that mentality of like, yeah, fuck yeah, you failed, you're in trouble. It's like, fuck, dude. Just
I love it. I see this weird hate now, man,
yeah,
and I see people buried in their phones looking down, and I've changed my attitude, like, to the right people. I'll be like, hey man, maybe there's like a different way to view life. Other than that, keep doing that shit, man, because I
yeah,
know the more people that aren't focused inwards and like pursuing the betterment in their life, like, I don't even want near
yeah,
me. You're not like getting it, dude, that like life is bigger
yeah.
than this.
Then
And there, if
championing for
you,
somebody's downfall. That's just
yeah,
crazy.
it's you're, so many people's eyes are off the ball, and that is the society's issue right now. Like, we'll say all of North America, all the
Yeah,
woke stuff, everything. It's like, guys, there's some serious issues that we could be
yeah,
like trying to figure out right now. And I get it. And it's like, you can be whatever you want and do whatever you want. Like, in like, as long as you're not breaking the law, but like, there's some bigger things at play right now,
yeah,
and no one cares.
yeah,
It's just like, no, we're gonna we're gonna keep going this way. And it's like, man, you guys' eye is off the ball. I feel society now is so spicy. Like, I think about protecting my family, not in a weird way of like, oh, I need lots of guns and stuff, but like, who's that guy from out west? Like, 30 seconds out, no one's coming. It's up to
yep,
you. Like,
yep,
yo, for real, dude. If you think you can like rely on services, sure, but that shouldn't be your, like, it should be self-aid, buddy aid from there. And you're
yeah,
relying on this stuff, and we're seeing like a deconstruction of it, and people are still just keyboard warrior. Look what this guy did. Look what this guy did. It's like, dude, man, like, do you have
yeah. For life.
a first aid kit in your house? Do you
Yeah.
have things that are important to you for your survivability? Like, I don't know. It's
It's crazy,
people,
and you're right.
humans,
Yeah,
human gonna human. I used to
yeah,
say, I want to make a sticker, because I used to get angry at my dog, and then I finally, like, probably around the same time, I'm having a lot of more self-reflection and meditation and stuff, and I just realized, like, I'm getting angry at the dog, not like real angry, but like, why are you doing that? It's like, he's a dog, man. Like, what do you mean? Dog's gonna dog. Human is gonna human. Humans
alligator's
are the
gonna alligate.
craziest. Right. Right.
Dude, real quick, man. In this second chapter of your life, what are some things that you're excited about? What's the creativeness? Because this is a whole different endeavor. This is just like myself going into the creative space. Like, what energizes you and gets you excited when you wake up? What are some things on the horizon that you're working towards?
Yeah. Graphic design wise, I wish I could just do the illustrations, and I think when I'm retired, like really retired, I'll be like in the programs more. But I see that there's space to grow all the way into something bigger. And so I'm going to lean on like my business, like experience, like leverage of talking to people to be able to grow this to be something bigger. I think there's a gap in the Canadian market for cool looking apparel. No shade to anyone else, and I think I can fill it. From the veteran healthcare space, man, I am a person of service. I hated that shit when I left the military, where they're like, you're a servant leader, blah, blah, blah. I was so angry at the military and so angry at the institution. And I never want to be in servitude to anybody ever again.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of working with people. I don't want to work for people. Like, I don't care what company you are, how big you are. Like, that might change if you offer me $1 million, but like, you get it. Like, I feel like the military kind of burned that bridge for me, where I have such distrust of that. So I found out, though, that I am a little bit of a servant. I spent just over a year volunteering with at-risk youth. That really
Nice.
grounded me when you were talking about volunteering. All y'all medical release dudes feeling sorry for yourself, for real, shut the F up, man. Go down to a homeless shelter, go somewhere, go work with people that are true need, and then let's have a checkup in 2 months and see if you have some more gratitude in your self-pity puddle.
Yeah.
Wow. Hope you don't get hate for that. So
That's okay. You can refer all hate mail to Gordon
Hurley.
Hurley. at hotmail.com.
Yeah. 696969696969 at hotmail.com. So I've kind of embraced it a little bit. I started seeing the nonprofit space. I had a buddy in distress. I helped him get in touch with, or I ended up getting in touch with Heroic Hearts Canada. So there's an American version, Heroic Hearts Project USA, massive nonprofit leading the charge down in the States. We're not set up in Canada. They have no money. So we need money. Everyone's ghosted our executive director, all the big money people. So I've been helping him behind the scenes, and now I'm going to use my graphic design to help lead their head of engagement for Heroic Hearts Canada and kind of get the social media going and deliver it to the community to say, hey, man, we got no money, but we have information. The moment we have money, we can start running clinics and getting people treatment. The unique thing about Canada is that it's legal above board, and it'll all be in partnership with clinical research study through universities. So all of this data that we get from it will be like used above it. We can't just send a dude to go do ayahuasca in Peru from a dirty water bottle and like enchilada and like everything's good. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but like legally, as like what we're doing with Heroic Hearts Canada is trying to make sure that the government is accepting this and Veterans Affairs is accepting this, and then start to cover it. And we can't do that. And it pisses a lot of people off because like, I know how the organizations work and they do amazing work, and it breaks our heart that we can't just like send a dude to get that. But we have to turn around to Health Canada and say our hand on our heart, not our hand on our heart, paperwork, medical, real paperwork, and be like, yeah, man, this is as if you went to a hospital in Canada or a nurse practitioner's clinic, whatever. So I'm taking over that position, and that kind of goes hand in hand with the webinars I'm doing monthly right now. Came from a place of hate and anger from looking down, seeing America. I heard yesterday there's like 80 something nonprofits for your special operations alone. So much advancement, so much money, so much support. It's truly a reflection of the national opinion on the military. So I think face to face when I talk to people, they are truly supportive of our military. And I think there are a lot of them, but because it's not talked about, it's not like it's not put into like, oh, our military needs X amount of money. They just don't talk about it. So then there's more money to other resources. Obviously, this is fucking Gordo talking to you, not like a political strategist. But from my perspective, the view on the military is just like, they don't know. And they don't know. And it's like not their fault. Because when you talk to them, they're like, we love the military. Like so many old people, like, go kill the Taliban. Like as you walk away, they're like, go get them. I hope you kill a bunch of them. You're just like, Jesus. Sweet, go Canada. Like this isn't America. But I realized nothing was getting done about it. I started having connections within the community down the States with like Dr. Kate Pate, shout out. And I was like, dude, do you want to do a podcast or you want to do a webinar? And I'm going to put it on for the community. I don't care. I'll do it all myself. And she was like, yeah, absolutely. I went to my executive director for Heroic Hearts and I was like, I'm going to do this thing. And he's like, nice. Where are you going to get the money for it? And I was like, what do you mean? What money? Like it's Zoom. It's free. It's nah, partner. Nah. So it's like $1,700-$1,800, which I knew it's not that much money and I was willing to pay for it myself, but I thought it would have a lot more weight that if I incorporated all the businesses across Canada that were soft owned, soft operated, that this would carry more weight to the community and they would see like, wow, everybody's on board with it. I had another guy particularly step up and donate another like $3,500 on that original one to get the large format webinar. And one person has led to the next person, has led to the next person. And it's like what you said earlier. I have a saying like luck breeds luck. My buddy didn't like that because he doesn't believe in luck. So I said good breeds good. If you push good energy, man.
Does that work?
Yeah. Can I go with this? But it's so true though. It's so messed up. It's so backwards, guys. If you push good energy and you just push good, the opportunities and just the opportunities will come back to you tenfold, and how you feel is a millionfold. So push good energy. And what's happening is that I've been pushed the one person who's then give me to the next expert, who's giving me to the next expert, who give me the next expert. So it's working out very well. at first I didn't know what the point of it all was going to be, but I think at the end of the series, at the end of the year, we're going to have a cumulative package of the most up-to-date veteran healthcare, not just soft specific. That was just the first angle. As of 2024, here you go. And it's like, I'm about end of the month. We just did Sklate Gangling Block. Shout out Dr. Sean Mulvaney. We're going to do the legal realm of psychedelics. So I'm kicking off the psychedelic series, and it's going to be, I have one of the top lawyers of Canada for psychedelics. He's going to lay the legal landscape for everyone. After that, I have one of the top professors in Canada for the history of psychedelics. And then after that, we're going to get into every single major psychedelic with like a world expert. And so at the end of it, everyone's kind of tracking what's going on. And from there, I got a bunch of other stuff.
Hell yeah, man.
I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants, but it's got to get done. And if that means Gordo's got to do it, it's kind of the same angle that it was as a JTAC, as a corporal JTAC, like doing the stuff I was doing at such a high level. You can do it, guys. You can do it. If Gordo can do it, you can do it. Just put your mind to it.
Damn straight.
Airborne.
Dude, Gordon, thank you so much for being here today, man. One more time, what are your social media handles so people can follow you?
Yeah, look for All the Way, and just look for All the Way, man. I don't know. I should have had that candy the first time someone's asked me that. Damn it! I don't know if it's like a.t.w.est, and I'm just
that's okay. Gordon may have shit to bet on this.
I'm learning. I did Honor Foundation. Look what it did for me.
At the end, post-production, I will add all his handles in this episode description. So pause right here. Go to the description. Okay, now that you're looking at it, click on all those links. Follow Gordon. Follow his webinars because they're going to bring greatness. It doesn't just apply to Canadians. It applies to us as well.
Right.
And we're going to talk after this to figure out how we can generate more traffic to Heroic Hearts Canada. To all you out there listening, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please take care of yourself and your families. And remember, we get through this together. Until next time, take care, and we'll see you all.